Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, we are Divorce Den. Our focus is on destigmatizing the D word and helping you create your best future during and after divorce. We do not shy away from diving into very deep topics, especially when it comes to mental health. We believe very strongly that mental health is crucial in understanding how it is that we can create the best future for ourselves and our families after divorce. If you or anyone you know is navigating divorce with somebody who has bipolar disorder, know that it can be done in an effective and respectful manner, especially if you choose an alternative dispute resolution model like mediation or collaborative and you don't go to court. So if this sounds like a topic that might benefit you, please share this, like, subscribe, and make sure that you are leaving us a comment and letting us know how it is that maybe we can support you, other resources we can give you, other videos we can create to help you create your best future. Now let's dive right in. Let's take a deeper dive and understand bipolar and how it might relate to your divorce process. Divorce can be difficult even under the best circumstances. If somebody, one of you, even an extended family member, has any sort of mental health disorder, including bipolar, it can really amplify all of the trauma, all of the hurt, all of the anxiety that comes along with getting divorced, especially if you're in court. Again, we always advocate to stay out of court. And specifically, if there are any sort of mental health issues, the court is not equipped to help you with that. They just are not. And I don't know one judge, I don't know one court that is going to tell you anything different. I am not a mental health expert, so what I'm going to tell you is a very, very simplified and brief definition of bipolar, just so that we can sort of set the groundwork to understand what it is that we're talking about and where we're coming from when we talk about this specific mental health disorder in relation to divorce. I'm going to read the definition, basically textbook right here, but again, I am not a mental health professional. If you or somebody you know thinks that you might have bipolar, please seek the professional guidance from your doctor, from a psychiatrist, from a trained professional in your area. So what is bipolar disorder? It is a mental health condition that causes extreme mood swings from manic episodes of high energy and irritability or impulse behavior to depressive episodes that are filled with sadness, hopelessness, and lethargy. So these mood swings, again, I'm oversimplifying it, saying mood swings, but these mood swings can certainly have been contributing to the feelings of anxiety and upset that you or maybe your partner have been feeling during the marriage, and that might be leading up to the divorce. So it is very important to understand that just like many other mental disorders, bipolar disorder is not something that your partner can just handle. Just work it out. Just go for a walk and come back and clear your head. Just go away for a weekend and, I'm relaxed and I can come back. No, this is a diagnostic disorder and it requires professional treatment. If you're getting divorced from somebody who has bipolar disorder, just understand that the traditional approach in court, which would be very heavy litigation and trying to go to trial and trying to prove this person unfit or crazy, that is not going to serve well. Not only is it not going to be respectful to your relationship that you already had, it can really push someone to a place that neither one of you want to go. If you know that your spouse cannot help it because this is a true disorder and you really want to be able to move forward with your life in a way that honors you, your future, your family, then pushing somebody with a mental disorder in court is not going to serve anyone. As a matter of fact, all it's going to do is hurt everyone. So this is why we focus very heavily on as much as you can. Please speak to your spouse or your partner about moving forward outside of court in any alternative model. Collaborative divorce, mediation, settlement talks, kitchen table talks, no matter what, having that outside voice of a judge, having the outside pressures and influence of all of the court personnel, litigation attorneys, that is not going to serve either one of you well. You sitting down and having empathy, really listening, really leaning into the pain that maybe your partner is going through and really hearing it and crafting an agreement that can help the both of you move forward is really going to go the longest way possible for you. It is really going to help you in ways that you cannot even understand when it comes to saving time, money, and certainly emotional resources in court. Now, divorcing somebody with bipolar disorder doesn't just mean that they might be hard to communicate with, right? Their behavior might actually be very erratic, and it might be very unpredictable in ways that even in an alternative model, it might be very hard to pin them down to have a solid conversation with them. For example, if your partner is having a manic episode, they might be behaving in ways that are unpredictable or even making rash decisions. You want to make sure that you're taking a step back and allowing them the space to regulate themselves, to speak to a professional, to make sure that they're in a good headspace to start engaging in conversation and start making decisions. But then on the other hand, if they are in a depressive state, then they might not be communicating at all. They might be completely shutting down and not able to make decisions, not able to move forward in any capacity. Again, you want to make sure that you're giving them space so that they can get themselves as well as possible with the help of a professional so they can make these decisions going forward from a place of understanding and a place of complete competency. While this can be very, very frustrating for you, for your children, for your family, and for your partner, know that having patience and empathy during this time really will go a long way. Because what I will tell you is if you're in court and you think that pushing harder is the way to move forward, not only does that not work on any given day with any given couple because the courts are so backed up, and pushing harder does not necessarily mean that it happens quickly. I guarantee you that. But also, you want to make sure that you're honoring your relationship and you want to make sure that you're honoring this person's mental health and moving forward in a way that is respectful and sometimes maybe even a little bit slower than you would like really will get you a lot further and a lot faster than you think. Feelings of overwhelm are going to be real no matter what. The emotions of losing this relationship, the emotions of the dynamics of your family changing, moving, possibly changing jobs, all of it can be very, very overwhelming, especially if you have a mental disorder that might be exacerbated by all of these external pressures. So now think about being in that frame of mind and having to go to court, having to take off of work, having to have all of these people looking at you like there's something wrong with you, having the judge look at you and start yelling and making decisions for you in ways that maybe you don't understand. So you knowing that hopefully will give you a different perspective, and then maybe you will shift to the way you're thinking about getting divorced and you will consider some of these alternative options. Remember that when we're talking about the benefits of alternative dispute resolution models that are going to be outside of the court, whether it's divorce mediation or the collaborative model, it's because the courts are not designed to help you advance your case. What they're really designed to do is have you come in, have the judge hear your arguments, hear your story, and then make a decision and move you out. That's really all it's about. Having you come in and they resolve the issues that you cannot, and then they move you along. Whereas in these other models, mediation and the collaborative process, it's designed to have you come in, have your voice honestly be heard, have your concerns and your fears and your hopes and your goals for the future be honored, be heard, and be respected. And that is for both of you. And if that's the goal, then just think about how different that would look if you have bipolar disorder and you are in the courtroom where you're being pressured to make a decision or have a judge make it, or in an alternative model where you feel supported and fostered and your voice is heard, and then you can start to come to a decision that is meaningful for your future. So in mediation, you would come together with a third party, a neutral, one person who is there to facilitate conversations, to help hear all of your concerns, to help maybe with some problem solving. Come up with something creative that will work for the both of you now and into the future. This person is not going to make a decision for you. They are not going to put pressure on you, and they are certainly not going to try to strong arm you into any kind of decision that you or your partner are not comfortable with. Their goal is to foster communication and help the both of you see what the possible solutions are down the road. Collaborative divorce is much like mediation in the way that it's a voluntary process and the both of you are making the decisions. However, you each have your own attorney. And these attorneys can help give you legal guidance, can help you navigate some of the legal complexities as to child support, custody, division of your assets, debts, businesses, houses, all of these kinds of things. And having those attorneys in your corner to help maybe guide you and give you some pointers, give you some advocacy, and certainly give you information about your legal rights, but never going to court and not litigating, that can really go a very long way when it comes to divorcing somebody with any kind of mental disorder. They can hear the information, and both of you will hear the same information, and you can start to craft an agreement that works for you now, and if and when there are any episodes, there are those manic episodes or those depressive episodes. So it takes into consideration your entire life, your entire family, and your entire future. And the reason that these models, mediation or collaborative, work so well, literally for any family, but specifically for families that might be struggling or dealing with bipolar disorder, is because it takes the control that the court just takes over, and it takes that control and it puts it in your hands. It says, okay, so you need to move a little slower, then we're going to slow down. Oh, you need to move this forward a little bit quicker because you have some deadline coming up. Maybe your lease is up on the apartment, maybe you're changing jobs. Okay, then we will move that portion of it forward a little quicker. We are going to listen to you, and we are going to be guided by what it is that you need. The focus is always on problem solving, reducing conflict, and helping you create an agreement that will last. Another reason is that it takes more of the control and it puts the control in your hands. Whereas in court, you literally lose all control. You don't have any control over the schedule, over the outcome, over who's going to be some of the players in the room, where in mediation and collaborative, the control is all in your hands. You and your partner are going to decide on who the professionals are, how you're going to navigate this process, and what your future is going to look like. And finally, it is intended to preserve relationships. We understand that you're getting divorced. We're not trying to save your marriage. But what we are trying to do is ensure that you're not completely destroying any semblance of a relationship that you have with your soon-to-be ex, extended family, your children, anyone. And even if you want to part ways and never speak again, that's okay. But you don't have to carry that anger, that animosity, all of that resentment with you. You can divorce respectfully and in a manner that is dignified and that honors your family. And here are some practical tips when it comes to getting divorced from somebody who has bipolar disorder. Number one, please stay patient. Just as during your marriage when things were a little rocky, a little tough, when there were either the manic or the depressive episodes, that will probably continue during the divorce and likely after. Being patient and taking a step back and taking your time through these process options really will help you go a lot further. Secondly, you can set boundaries. You can say, you know what, even though I'm going to be patient, I'm not going to be able to engage in conversation with you when you're in a manic episode. Send me an email. Please send me a text. Put something in writing, and then I will answer you when I'm able to. Just because somebody needs their voice to be heard right now does not mean you need to respond right away. So if they need for their voice to be heard, they can put it in writing and they can send it to you. Then you have time to read through it, you have time to process it, and you can answer it in a way that's really forward thinking. Don't stay stuck in the moment. You want to make sure that you're always looking to your best future. Another tip is to get support. Whether it is your own therapist or a divorce coach, you really should have somebody in your corner who you're able to go and speak to and really vent and express your frustration, express your feelings, your fears, all of it in a way that you might not necessarily do with your attorney. And truthfully, you shouldn't. Your emotional well-being really should be fostered and grown and advanced with the help of a licensed professional like a therapist. And then lastly, please make sure that, again, you stay future focused. Focus on the big picture. In the moment, it's going to be very hard to have certain conversations. Not all the time, but at certain moments. Just remember, this is only a moment. This is only a snapshot in time. This is not your entire future. So when something is happening in that moment and it feels like tensions are very, very high and wow, I really can't respond to that right now, that's okay. You don't have to. Take a step back, focus on the big picture, and know that this is just a moment. By keeping that in mind, you really can reach a fair and final settlement that you'll be able to live with for years to come. Divorcing somebody with bipolar disorder can really be complex. It can be overwhelming, and it really at times can feel like you can't do it, right? The challenges are so insurmountable. But by taking into consideration all of these tips, you really can do it. You can create a future that is the best for you and honestly the best for your soon-to-be ex. If you are struggling to move forward in your divorce or separation, please reach out to a professional in your area who focuses on collaborative divorce, or mediation. They really understand the power and the beauty of these process options that can keep you out of court and make sure that it honors you and your future. Don't forget, if you need additional support throughout this time, you or your spouse, your children, your family, your extended family, anyone who needs it, there's no shame in that. Make sure that you are getting the support that you need. We are not licensed therapists, and here I'm not giving any legal advice. What I'm telling you is this is a really, really tough time. Divorce is a tough time no matter what. But when you add in any sort of challenges like bipolar disorder, it can really feel like it's completely overwhelming. But if you take it in little pieces, you get the right support, and you stay out of court, you can do it. We appreciate you watching today's video, and we really hope that some of the tips that you heard here will help you navigate through the divorce process with a little more clarity, a little more confidence, and really start thinking about the future of your family. And if you know anyone, or maybe yourself, who have been through a divorce process with somebody with bipolar, we would love to hear from you, because we are not experts on every single aspect when it comes to getting divorced, but we are certainly here to listen. We would certainly love to hear from you, and we look forward to seeing you the next time on Divorce Den.